Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Dr. T, PhD, the prodigy of sports psychology, here welcoming not one, but two awesome individuals right here on today's show. Now before I tell you about them, let me please invite everyone out there to like this video, leave us a comment, and share it with all of your friends and family out there. As I mentioned, my two favorite guests on GoTarryn TV will be here momentarily. In fact, one of them is on hold right now on video. We have Freddy G of Fit Peru, and we're also hoping to get joined here momentarily on audio by Kisa Raye of KR Stretch. So those two awesome individuals be coming here on today's show in just a few moments, and I'm going to be asking and talking to them about what's going on here right now, specifically in Georgia, in the greater Atlanta area, Kisa up in Athens, Freddy and I down here in Buckhead. What's going on with the mask mandates and the recommendations versus requirements, masks on while we're working out and exercising, or when we're getting stretch therapy or what have you. So we're going to kind of delve into that and just get a couple of different perspectives from these two amazing individuals, because I got to get some help on this. I need to figure it out, and I can't think of two better people to help me figure it out than both Freddy and Kisa, who will be here momentarily. So in just a few moments, we're going to be joined by them. But remember, with GoTarryn Health and Fitness, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. Back in a second. Welcome back, everyone, and as I promised, we do have Freddy G here. He's on video. And Freddy, how are you doing out there?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Very good. Thank you. Great to see you. And we may have our other guest, stretch therapist Kisa, on the line as well. We'll let you know if we get her here. But in the meantime, Freddy, I asked you and Kisa both to join us today for a special three-way panel. And, I guess I'll just jump right into it and just discuss. I think this will be a really interesting topic because I wanted to see from your viewpoint and also hers. For example, since you and I both work at Family Life Center, they have required masks again for both us and the members. And it's been very controversial, to say the least, and they just started that. What is your take on now requiring masks for us, requiring masks for the members, or else they can't work out, we can't work there? I just wanted to get your initial impression on this, bringing that rule back to the gym.
Oh, I didn't get the memo yet. I mean, I saw the signs, but Cedric or whoever, it didn't say anything yet to me directly.
Oh, okay. Who asked? I think it was one of the members asked the front desk, and they basically said it's required. It's back now. It's required for everybody. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't get a memo either. I don't think I ever received anything, but the general thing is it looks like it's back in place now. I think I've already seen a few members kind of not happy about that asked the front desk, and the front desk said that they're sorry, but that's just the rules now again.
Yeah. Well, never ends. I mean, I think it's just frustration. Frustration in my end. It's like not making any sense. Again, you got vaccinated, you're wearing mask. What is the fear for?
Fear. That's interesting. Yeah, that is because I keep hearing that's the word that a lot of people are using. It looks like you brought up a good point. First, it was masks. Then it was vaccines. And neither of those were good enough, obviously, is where we're at now. So my question to you is, what's next? Is what if the CDC, what if the mayor recommends we should shut down again? Are they going to do the same thing and say, well, we need to shut down? Where is it going to end, I wonder?
My perspective is that it's a keep going, ongoing thing. Like there's a Delta variant and all these kind of variants. For each variant, are they going to make a new emergency vaccine again? And then what is the point to have two shots again? Mm-hmm. And I don't know how. That's not making any sense for me. I mean, I'm still on my end choosing my fate, my own options, which is I don't want to get any, and I never wear a mask. and I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
We're still standing here since that year, and then now it's coming back again with that same bullshit. It's just frustrating for me. Just when I go to Family Life Center mostly,
mm-hmm.
I thought we were over it, because we were just doing the same without any issues. But now they went back to the rules, and I just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I thought it was over with too, and then now I hear some people saying this is just the beginning, because the other thing that I've heard of that they're talking about that could be happening is that I had this talk with the other trainer, Chris, and we were mentioning, he talked about what if the next step is we have to show our... Okay, everyone, we're back, and I apologize, technical difficulties. I'll take the brunt of that. It's probably my computer doing some weird stuff like it does sometimes, so I apologize. But we do have both ladies first Kisa Raye on the phone, and we also have Freddy Gonzalez on the video. So both of you, wonderful people, you are two of my favorite on this GoTarryn TV. So thank you both for joining me today.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, I will just kind of go right into where Freddy and I were talking, Kisa, and then maybe get your perspective on this. So we were just in a nutshell to summarize things. Freddy, group instructor, personal trainer. He does it all. He's a movement specialist. He works side by side with me at one of the gyms in Buckhead called Family Life Center. They have kind of reverted and gone backwards on some of the things going on there. For example, like the mask policy. And they're now making and requiring everyone, both staff and members and clients, and also if you're vaccinated, whether or not you're vaccinated or not, you have to wear a mask 100% across the board. Whereas, for example, like at the YMCA where I also work at, they haven't gone back. They are continuing to press forward, just asking people if you're vaccinated, great. If you're not, please wear your mask, on the honor system. So I just wanted to get your perspective. So Kisa, you're a stretch therapist, and Kisa does stretch therapy. What is your take kind of on what's going on, I guess, in our world here in the greater Atlanta area, but also, the state of Georgia and even bigger, like the whole nation is where we're at right now in our industry in health and fitness?
Gotcha. So since I am outside of Atlanta, let me first tell you kind of what I'm seeing over in the Athens area. The community at large is fairly open. I do think that there will be some policy changes in each individual gym. We'll probably at this point decide what they want to do. Since I am outside, used to be in that environment, but not much, I have some connection to trainers and owners. I think they're doing like the Y at this point. They're doing the same things. I have been told by one gentleman that owns his own small private gym that he has some trainers that have already asked if they can move their clients over to him because his policy is less restrictive, and that their clients don't want to be in masks and working out. So again, I think there's a little bit of shopping around, so to speak. So for me in the stretch world, the stretch therapy world, where most of us are in the body working world, and we're in clinics, or we're in chiro, or we're in treatment rooms within massage, we haven't changed much, Taryn, and I think you and I talked about this before, but our policy hasn't changed. So what we are essentially doing is we don't have a waiting room in use. We have a waiting room, but our front door is locked. My clients sit in the parking lot, text me, they walk in with a mask on, they come into my treatment room with a mask on, and they decide, so I have a mask on, they have a mask on. Once we go in the treatment room, the doors closed, they can opt out of the mask if they want, and they can tell me whether they want me to continue wearing a mask or not. Now, if things continue to escalate and change, I may go back to wearing a mask 24/7 just so that I don't have to shut down and I don't get exposed. I mean, I'm vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. We can go down that rabbit hole, but The facility that I work in, I don't have a lot of immunocompromised clients. However, in the world of body work, where a lot of people manage their health conditions through body work, massage and acupuncture and acupressure and all that alternative care, we're just really taking care of those people who really do need that work. And last year it wasn't available to them. They were too nervous about it, and that sort of thing. So, I've taken the approach with my clients. We're doing this for a lot of the other members or clients that we have that come into our business, because I have there's three other treatment rooms besides my room. So that's kind of where we have stood. I know there's pushback. I can give you another perspective, so to speak. I need to be careful with some of this information because I don't know what's public out there, but my oldest daughter is an actress. So, we compared things because she lives up in New York City, but she is in one of the Broadway shows, the tours, that has started rehearsing, and they are in Dallas, and they have pretty stringent protocol with that show. She will have to be tested once a week. She will wear a mask if she's not actually on the stage. They've got lots of protocol to just manage it. And I think they're doing the best they can, because it will, in fact, impact whether they can run a show if people are sick or, asymptomatic, symptomatic, and can't, be in the show. So, yeah, it's still a bit of a beast in some ways.
Yeah, and I can tell you this, that I was telling Freddy actually that ever since I emailed my clients at the church gym where we mutually work out at, I've had already several people tell me that they can't do it. They said, "I'm sorry, Taryn, I can't wear a mask while I work out." And I get it. I'm like, I totally agree with you. I couldn't do it either. But Freddy, let me ask you, kind of tailgating off what Kisa was just talking about, what about working out with a mask? And that is obviously a little different than receiving stretch therapy, for example, or, let's say massage therapy. If you're exercising, exerting calories and breathing out carbon dioxide and such, what's your take, from a physiological standpoint of mask wearing while you're working out?
Yeah, I think we had this conversation before.
Yeah.
But just pointing, summarize is not healthy at all, because you're exerting carbon dioxide, and then you have to breathe in oxygen, and in that matter, like, you don't have to block your breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Otherwise, unless you're gonna be an athlete and train your lungs for the capacity, like long distance or whatever, or hiking on the mountains, so you're gonna be ready in that matter. But otherwise, like regular people just working out or just exercising, I don't think is healthy at all. And this is gonna be a tendency of having two different. It's a separation. It's gonna be that, like a different community in one hand and the other hand, So, but I hope we can have a choice. We still have a choice, I think, unless the corporation or the company that you work with is settling in some rules that you're not agree with, and you got the choice to quit or not going, but the conversation is always there. So that's my point.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because just using me for an example, I went to the UPS store this morning, and I just walked in, and they immediately like, "Excuse me, where's your mask?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought we, we're done with that." And they said, "No, you have to wear one now." And I was like, "Really? Okay." And so I walked back to my car. Honestly, I never even carry it with me anymore, because I just, after the last couple of months, I thought we were like you said before, kind of done with that. But back to you, Kisa, for a minute. I asked Freddy this question. I'll ask you the same thing. If it comes to where this variant or more variants that they're talking about is to be believed that it's getting worse and that we are headed towards an uptick and spike and things do get worse, If they do say that they recommend closing down, and that somehow, sneaks into up in the Athens area or what have you, and they say, I'm sorry, but the CDC has recommended now that we shut down again. Is that something that is feasible to happen again? And is there a backup plan for that? Or is it up to the business owners up there that might just kind of push forward this time differently and say, we're not going to shut down? I mean, have you heard any of that by any chance?
Golly, that's a loaded question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It is very loaded.
No. Well, the reason I say that is Athens, has the University of Georgia here, and without getting down the political rabbit hole, Athens is a pretty liberal town. The leadership will probably look at other communities that they, that leader is, like, for instance, Savannah has a mask mandate already. And the rumor is that the mayor here in Athens has already been talking to the Savannah, whatever. And so there is a community. I want to be so careful with my choice of words. There is a community around here that I think is 100% afraid, and without recognizing that there could be a management, like you all have just talked about, is some choice in that, and that sort of thing. So it's interesting because last year, Athens, the kids never went back to school. Never. I mean, they went back to school for a little bit, and that was a hot mess. And I can't even give you the reasons, because I don't have any kids in school anymore. So, and they wouldn't have been in the Athens schools because I live in a surrounding county. But that's the interesting thing, getting back to what you two were just talking about, where communities, are locking down. I don't think our community is going to lock down. UGA is going to be completely open, and the kids, I think, are going to be able to walk around without masks on, and, they behaved a certain way, even though there were...
Oh,
I think we lost Kisa. Let me see what happened there. Freddie, I'll tell you what, before we get her back on, can you kind of go on to what she was talking about there in terms of kind of answering the same way? If things happen to where let's say they shut down Family Life Center again, they close down, do you have a backup plan kind of what's going on in, that regard?
Outdoors. That's the choice that I can work with. Like, as always, the whole last year pandemic was outdoors, and that was a good choice because it was a wonderful time with the weather wise. And if it's not, the weather is behaving, so we can be under gazebos, and I find a way to keep the people, going, and without no excuses.
Hey there.
Because,
We got Kisa back. No, you're right, Freddie. And I'm sorry about Kisa again. My technical difficulties are making a mess, and I apologize to both of you. But no, right when it did that, Freddie kind of was piggybacking on what I was asking you, because he brought up a really good point about when it did close, having a backup alternative, because I think maybe in Atlanta, Fulton County, certainly, they're a little bit... what's the word? Again, with avoiding politics, very fast about just closing. And so if they did close, like, for example, in the personal training world, you do have options like going outside and doing that. But I apologize. We cut you off on the last bit there, so I'll let you finish your thought and then continue on, please.
Yeah, no. So what I would say is to answer the question as basic as, I probably personally, if we shut down again, we'll have to make a really big decision. I've already been in the world of fitness and sports training and all that, and I'll probably just, have to do something totally different. Because this is handwork. But I do think that when I decided, we came back, I opened up and, got back to work in June, I guess. I think that the way we've been running the show basically is I just haven't had a problem with COVID, even when we were still in the middle of last year in 2020,
right.
With no, so, there's things that I can do with my clients. First and foremost, I have a personal, just like you guys do, I have a personal relationship with just about every single one of my clients. Last year it was, does that person need to come in when I know they're still traveling? Even though they're not supposed to be, whatever. I don't care that they travel. Do I want to take the risk of bringing them in? I stopped traveling to homes. You and I talked about that, Karen. I had home clients. I don't have any home clients except for one right now. And I just never opened that. And that was actually a good thing because I used to drive all over, the place to, accommodate people. There's some stretch therapists that do exactly the same work as I do over in Atlanta. And, one of the guys told me like his business dried up because he had so many clients. But the other thing that happened was these people that had been paying him quite a bit to do home stretch therapy suddenly realized they didn't want to go back to spending that kind of money. And so he had to pivot because they basically flipped around and said, because I even said to him, I'm like, well, is that because their finances have been impacted and they can no longer afford your travel prices, blah, blah. I mean, it's the same as home training, personal training. And he goes, yeah. So he found a place to, work within a facility and he's had to reestablish himself. And now people have to come to him, which is a totally different business model, So again, the pivot idea, I'm not pressed. I am not worried about this for whatever reason. I'm not worried that my business is going to be impacted. I still worked even last fall with a couple sports, high school sports teams doing, mobility and recovery work. And we were masks and I was going on to campuses. And that was an interesting dynamic because they were still managing COVID and I was still kind of bumping into it and doing the best I could. The kids weren't wearing masks. They were electing, I talked to the coaches. I'm like, listen, if I get COVID, then then I have to shut down because I have to tell everybody that, we just did the best we can. So I really feel like the three of us have a very positive way that we're looking at this and maybe we're exploring options in plan B. But I think it's a matter of communicating with your clients and your people and realizing that that's the best and safest environment for you to do your work. And I don't even mean by safest as in standards of CDC or any other guidelines, where you feel holistically the safest, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever that is, because you're going to give your best work to your people. And that's just kind of the way I feel like I am not going to go back to 2020 mindset. I'm not going to be fearful. And I'm going to try to keep my clients safe. And I can't, like you said, we can't shut everything down and walk around in fear, although obviously many people think we should.
No, that's a good point, Kisa. And, Freddy, just like kind of Kisa was mentioning, with some people thinking that we should shut down, I have heard that suggestion from some of the members at the gym. You hear talk like, oh, we should just shut down. We need to shut down until the variant's gone or until everybody's vaccinated. And I just don't, hopefully that doesn't happen. That doesn't seem like it's feasible. But Freddy, I mean, this is a hard question to answer. What do you predict for the masks? Do you think they're here to stay for good? Do you think they're here to stay till the variants go away? I mean, I know that's impossible probably to answer, but what's your thought on where we're headed right now for the rest of the year and, possibly into the next year?
I cannot predict anything. So the point is, because I'm not a witch doctor, but my perspective is we always have a choice. Unless the big government is gonna push us to do something that we don't want to. But like now, we still have choices. And if that happened, the orders are shutting down. I told you, like, the good options is just take your clients or your community outdoors. Like we've been doing training classes. Is the best option, I think, and I was been doing that for from the very beginning, outdoors. And what happened is the clients, community people are too comfortable, and when you just taking that for granted, like, the AC and the nice facility give you all these amenities, and you just gonna kind of cry out about, oh, that's what I miss. So you just don't really need that, because you have to be outdoors and get the air into your system, and the sun is a big, huge factor that contributes to your health. So even though it's not sunny, the sun is there, so the rays goes through your skin. So people, they don't understand that, like they just wanna sit and wait until whatever negative thoughts happening in everybody mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well said, Freddy, too. Yeah, that's good to have options, and like you were saying, Kisa, too, to kind of pivot and think outside the box and, go to other, I'm so happy that you have options, that, and both of you are giving such a good optimistic outlook on this. So, having said that, Kisa, let me kind of summarize everything here. What is your outlook on the rest of the year looking like, and anything else planned, I guess, both personally and professionally? Any trips, for example, anything going on with the daughters, and how's business looking? Another fully loaded question for you there as we're wrapping up.
Business is good. Business is back. I'm probably back to where I was prior to. It probably took me, a couple months ago, I finally filled my book, so to speak. So that's good. If I was comfortable with all the traveling and, I had the time, there's some more training that I would like to do. And unfortunately, I can't just get to Atlanta and get this training in. So in the next year, I'm still recouping from a little bit of the financial hit from last year. I think I'll add some more mobility and movement training, because I usually, my clients, I give them a lot of homework, and a lot of them, it's just not the stretch that they need. They actually need to mobilize their body. So I actually, kind of do that. Daughters are good. My girls are rocking and rolling, work with their own careers, and my youngest is in Atlanta, and sometimes we compare notes again with how things and what's going on. She's in the Buckhead area, so what's going on over there, and all that good stuff. And then my oldest daughter is, the first Broadway national tour is about to start tomorrow, and she's with that show, and so it's the Wicked national tour, which is starting in Dallas, and so that carries a lot of weight. So that's why I've been able to see another industry who's trying to get back to work. I mean, you're talking about a whole industry when we're sitting here doing things. The entertainment industry, the actors, the musicians, everything, they haven't worked for a solid year and a half, 18 months. Mm-hmm. So to jump over a little bit, just because the three of us are training-minded people, we're talking about, like, my daughter's in this show primarily is a dancer, and she's had 18 months off, and they have had exactly 3 weeks to get ready for the show. And she dances 75% of the show. So she said, it's called, throwing them into the deep end and letting them get it back in their bones. This is a tour she did. She was on tour with them prior to COVID. So her experience has been interesting. And then the other thing, which is real interesting and fascinating, as you said, when we talk to friends and family members that are in different areas of the country or the world, to just see the differences in how different communities and leadership is dealing with this. Because when she came down from New York in May, we had a family vacation in South Carolina. Mm-hmm. She was stunned. Because she's like, oh, you don't even, it's not a question or a consideration that you're going to wear a mask, even when you're outside. She ran in Central Park, and she's like, Mom, the only time you don't have your mask on is when you slide it down and you're not around anybody and you're running. Can you imagine? There's Central Park, and you can pull it off your face. So, and there was a lot of pushback where people would literally call you out if you didn't have your mask up. I think things have relaxed a bit. But, she really was surprised at the ease of, like, people just choosing to do their own thing. Not that she didn't think that needed to be a choice, but that New York City, and again, we can argue the point of New York City as a large city with a lot of people and, whatever. But, yeah, so I just think we all need to be a lot more respectful of like what Freddy said. Choice is a freedom, but we have to respect the choice that you're making. If you want to wear your mask, go for it. If I don't want to wear a mask, and if your business is going to be impacted by me not wearing a mask, then I'll try to respect you by wearing it. I'll try.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal to me.
Yeah, very good. Absolutely. And Freddy, same question too for you. What is your kind of outlook for the remainder of this year and programs and trips? You're always going out of town as well too. What else do you have going on?
Well, whatever the order is, I mean, I'm still keep going. Like, I'm still moving, doing other abilities that I have, and I just put in different eggs in different baskets, and maybe driving Uber, whatever. And then planning to go to a retreat at the end of the year. That's my big plan. Maybe it's Greece or Puerto Rico. It's a mind body retreat kind of. It's a personal development. But then I just moving pieces around. If whatever happens, we have to continue living. And sharing our experiences with our people, with our clients, and the health-wise, That's what I'm gonna do.
Good, very good. Well, I want to thank both of you again. I appreciate this conversation. Was so fascinating. And before I let you both go, let's go back to Kisa for a minute, please. Kisa, can we please go ahead and I always like to plug everybody's contact information, and as we come to the end of our video blog today, please.
Awesome. You can reach me at KisaRaye.com. It's K-I-S as in Sam, A-R-A-Y-E. I've got all my contact information on that for fascial stretch therapy or mobility training. Love to hear from you.
All right. And then, Freddy, let's throw it to you. How do people find out about you?
Just go to my website, which is fitperu.net.
Great. All right.
You can find all the information there.
Excellent. We'll get both of those websites on the screen as we fade to black. And I want to, again, thank you so much, both of y'all. This was excellent. 30 minutes flew by so fast. Again, I take full blame on the technical difficulties from earlier, so I apologize, but thank you for bearing with me on that. Again, sometimes doing the three-way panel is a little trickier, but I'm glad we got it in. Great job, both y'all. I just love getting just these different perspectives in such a great way with both of you. And next time, Kisa, you're here in the greater Atlanta area, but Freddie and myself are in Buckhead, so we'll have to get together. Maybe you're visiting your daughter or doing another conference or such. We'll get together and let's have a healthy smoothie together and all meet up.
Awesome.
Sounds fabulous.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you all. Happy Monday, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.